Hey D-Rose gang, it's me, Nancy, and today is May 31st, the last day of the month, and I could not let this month go by without acknowledging the fact that it is Mental Health Awareness Month. I feel like I have been really open. I've made myself to be very vulnerable to speak of my journey concerning my weight loss. I feel I should be able to do that about my mental health as well, as the video about the weight loss helped so many people to start their journey, inspired so many people to begin their journeys or to restart their journeys. I feel like this can help people to just hold on. And that's exactly what I did. I held on. Ladies and gentlemen, I have suffered from depression since I was a teenager. I feel like there is such a stigma, and that's why people don't get the help that they need because they're afraid to be judged, and that was my situation. Honestly, I remember being a teenager standing on a chair to get to the top of the refrigerator because I wanted to take pills. I wanted to take pills. I did not know what the pills were going to do. I didn't even know what the pills were for. I felt an overwhelming sense of depression, and I could not talk about it because it made no sense. I could not talk about it because I grew up in a beautiful Haitian household, a religious household. There was no reason for me to be depressed, but I felt it and I wanted to do something about it. I probably was 13 when that happened. I grew up I want to say 18 or 19. I was on my own at that point, and life did become a little bit more difficult, a lot more difficult. And I was not managing what was going on. I was not managing my stress very well. I was letting the depression overtake me. I did not know what to do because life definitely had to move on. I had to put my smiley face on and keep it trucking. I started cutting. And honestly, I still have the scars on my arms and on my wrists to prove it. It was a very dark time in my life, and I did not want to be a part of this world anymore. I could not see the light at the end of the tunnel that everybody talks about. I could not see it. And I want to do this video to tell people to hold on, but I also want to do this video to tell you I know where you've been. If you're watching this video and you're feeling what I'm talking about, I know where you've been. I have been where you are at. Just hold on. It feels like everything is just on top of you and you're buried and you can't breathe through it all. How can you see the light? What light? So you fake it until you make it or until you don't. So I started cutting. Later on, I found out that I was pregnant with my first child, and that gave me hope to keep going on. It gave me hope until the hope ran out. I was told, Nancy, how are you so humble? Because I can never ever forget where I was. And I'm gonna get emotional and I'm probably gonna cry. But you know what? I will never ever forget where I was. I was so very, very, very depressed. I was depressed. I had situations that added to my stress and made me feel even more depressed. That low self-esteem, low confidence, toxic abusive relationships, everything else made me feel this small and made the world feel like it was caving in on me, trying to crush me, and I did not want to be a part of it anymore. You really truly feel like you're drowning. I had all of that I was dealing with, and then I had children. And I love my children with all of my heart. But I was feeling so low, so depressed, and I truly felt so hopeless and so overwhelmed that there was no light. I put on my glasses. I still couldn't see the light at the end of this so-called tunnel. I went back to cutting. It's been years, but I went back to cutting because I needed at that point to feel any other pain besides this emotional pain. Like, I'd rather nurse my physical wound than deal with this pain that I was going through. I was talking to a friend of mine about making this video, and she said, I love YouTube. I do too, though. She said, I love YouTube because this video will stay here forever. So if it doesn't reach somebody right now, if it doesn't reach somebody next month, next year, somebody will watch this video, and I pray to God that it will give you the strength to hold on, to know that it will get better. Trouble don't last always. Believe me, I am a witness. So continuing on with the story, the depression got worse. Like, I didn't want to be here, and I couldn't talk to anybody. I love my mom. I tell y'all that my mother is my best friend. I could not talk to her because I felt like nobody would understand. I would go to the emergency room, just because I'm sick. And they would ask, do you have thoughts of hurting somebody or hurting yourself? And inside of my head, I'm standing on the chair screaming, yes, help me. But, and I could go down the reasons of why I didn't do it. But I knew they was going to take me, wrap me up in that jacket and throw me in a padded room. I know that I was going to be away from my kids. I know that I probably would have got judgment. People wouldn't understand. Fingers would have been pointed at me. So many, 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 many reasons why I didn't open my mouth to get the help that I needed. At one point, I did try therapy. I had a therapist. She was awesome. Very awesome. Miss Thomas was very awesome, very patient, and worked on giving me coping skills to know my triggers, to know how to, I guess, that's around the time, I always loved writing. I always loved writing. Since 7th grade, my teacher, Miss Fieldman, was the best teacher ever. She helped me notice that I had a deep love for writing, and different things that the therapist would ask me to do, like, okay, you love writing, go write. You like, walking and listening to music, like to kind of, in a sense, escape, or to put your energy instead of putting it, because sometimes we're our worst enemy. Sometimes we sit and we wallow in our depression. Like Nancy, when she was depressed, would listen to depressing music. I would listen to the worst, saddest, because it felt good, or felt natural, or felt normal to be depressed. So she would give me different outlets or suggestions for different outlets of how to keep your mind off of it, how to keep moving throughout the depression. I stopped seeing her. I don't know what happened. I stopped seeing her, and I ended up in my closet. There's a song that says, when I think of the goodness of Jesus and all that he's done for me, my soul cries out, hallelujah, because if it was up to me and I had stuck and stayed true to my plan, I would not have been sitting here right now. If I had followed through with my initial plan, I would not be here right now. I am a single mother. My kids basically would be in the care of my mother, and I was okay with that at that point. I sat in my closet in the dark and said that they would be better off with her. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real, because I feel like one day, whoever watched this video and is at that point of need where they need somebody, or they need to know that somebody understands them. I am she, I am her. My name is Nancy. Follow me on any one of my social medias. I feel like I am here because of my experiences to help anybody that needs my help. If it was up to me, I wouldn't be here. I came to terms with the thoughts in my mind that said I would be better off not being here. The world would be better off with me not being here. My kids would be better off because they would be in the care of my mother. And I sat in the closet and I cut and I cried and I planned. But God, but God, just hold on. And it was not a Cinderella story like the next day everything got better. No, I really put to practice what I've learned through the therapist, from the therapist, about getting into different activities. I joined a gym in 2012, and that was good for me. That was an outlet. Talking, I'm not ashamed anymore, as you can see, because all of this makes me who I am today, and all of this could potentially help somebody in the future. I start at home. It could definitely help my kids. It could definitely help the other family members that I have. It could help any one of you, anybody on the street. So I'm not ashamed to talk. And honestly, if you're afraid to pick up the phone and call the suicide hotline or call a therapist, call anybody, pick up the phone and call me. Well, you can't call me. But message me on Instagram, message me on Facebook, message me on Twitter. I feel like now, if I did that, look at all of this that I would have missed. I would have missed my kids growing up. I would have missed all of these beautiful things that I was able to accomplish, that I was able to accomplish with my family. Just hold on. Honestly, trouble does not last always. And one day I feel like a lot of us that are on weight loss journeys, or any journey for that matter, starting a business, you look back at the struggle from where you stand right now and you say, I did that. I've come a long way. I survived. I succeeded. I did that. I am so glad, again, that God spoke to me and that I listened and I put it down and I did not go through with it. I thank God that I'm here. It is hard. Life is hard. Look at what we're going through right now as a whole. Life is hard. It's confusing. It's stressful. It's overwhelming. But just hold on, because it will get better. I am a witness. I am a living witness. A person that was deep down in darkness, that saw no hope for her future, her life, nothing, and held on. And here I am, telling you to hold on, telling you to be strong, telling you to talk. Talk, it's hard. You fear being judged, you fear being outcast, people pointing fingers at you, but just hold on. Just hold on. So it is a quick video that I wanted to share with you. I did not want this month to pass without acknowledging Mental Health Awareness Month, whether it be anxiety, depression, bipolar, whatever it is. Just hold on. Talk. There are counselors, there are therapists, there are people waiting by the phone. Don't silence it anymore. Don't silence it. Don't be ashamed. And here's the thing about speaking up. Speak up. There are other people going through the same thing that keep their mouth closed because they feel like they're all alone in it. We suffer the same problems sometimes. Speak up. You don't know how many people's gonna raise their hand and say, me too, me too, me too. I feel it too. I felt it too. I go through that too. I suffer through this too. So just hold on. Thank you so very much for watching. Tune in next time for another video. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. See you on the flip side. Just hold on.